Good morning. Welcome to Friday morning, 20th of January. I've got about another week here and then we take off on our cruise, but we're going to have a great day today. Going to talk about customer service. Is that boring or what? No, it's a lot of fun. It's really pretty cool because so many people don't know how to do it. You can just jump ahead of them because of some of the things I'm going to give you, in fact, all the things I'm going to give you in the training today, if you implement them, you're going to keep more customers, you're going to attract more customers, and you're going to make more money. So stick with me to the very end. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button down there, turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell. Turn on all bell notifications so you're notified each and every time I go live or if I upload a video. I've got a monitor over here. I want you guys to participate. I really do. And the way to participate is say something in that chat box there. Give me a thumbs up, some kind of interaction. I just really love it. I think you guys will get more out of it. In fact, I know you will if you participate. I did a different camera angle today. I just found something in my settings I could do. So if I look like I'm further away and I'm not like right up in your face like I normally am, it's because I changed the camera setting. And I've got another one I think I may change too. So we'll see how that works out. All right, so let's get started. Customer service. It is the number one thing that we concern ourselves with at Survivalcave Food. I own a survival food company, and customer service is over and above everything. I mean, profits, employees, everything. Customer service is it. It is number one. Next is employees. So we go customer service, employees, and somewhere down below there, we work on profits and all that good stuff. So if I didn't think it was important, guys, I wouldn't work on it. And man, this is the most important thing I do every single day is to treat people right, treat them with respect, get things done for them. I mean, it is so very important. So if you have thoughts on this, put it in the chat box. I know some of you, in fact, most of you are going to watch this when it's not live, but you can still comment below, ask me questions, do all that good stuff, and we can still converse and exchange thoughts, which is what we want to do here. So let's start with number one. Okay, number one is what? Well, how are you set up now? Are you organized now? Are you doing things now that are to your advantage, or are they not? So that's what I want to ask you. Customer service is so critical. It really is. If you do the right things, man, you're going to attract so many people. You really will. First thing I would say is, and this is an easy one. Anybody can do this. This is going to save you time and it's going to give you more time. And just eliminate common questions immediately. Put together all the common questions that you're asked. Put the answers to all of those and put that on your website. This will save you so much time. We have a submit a ticket type thing where you can submit a ticket to our company. And as you go to submit the ticket, you can also search in the box for any questions you may have, and it may have an answer for you. This is something that Kartra gives us. And if you don't know what Kartra is, after this video is over with, go in the description, click on Kartra, watch the video, you'll understand. But this is something they give us. So this saves us so much time because it eliminates all those common questions before they clog up the support channels. We can answer them quickly. And people appreciate it because they can get their answer. They don't have to wait. This can include warranty information, shipping, exchange policies, returns, installation tutorials if you've got some kind of product or something like that, common questions pertaining to the product. It's just so nice to have those FAQs set up and ready to go. If you have that on your site, tell me about it. Let's see here. I see my buddy Paul's in there. And I apologize, my throat's a little dry this morning. So that happens. Currently working on getting better organized, pulling it all together. Organization, really important. And you know, the thing about organization is it would save us so much time and it makes it so much easier for us to do things, but we don't want to do it because it takes up some of our time. It's kind of a funny deal, but if you do, go all in on it overall, it's going to really help you out a lot. And I work on this. I struggle with it. We all do. I don't think there's anybody out there that's just good at everything. I just don't see it. I see people that try harder than others, but I don't see anybody that's just automatically good at stuff. This is a big one. And when I ran car dealerships, I was a vice president at a group that had 16 new car franchises. This is the biggest one and the hardest one that I had to teach my managers service department, salespeople, is to respond immediately. Respond immediately. Now, I know this can't always be done. Sometimes they'll send us a ticket on our website and we're just not available, or, my service department's not available. But the sooner you can respond, the better off you are. A lot of companies, a lot of individuals say, well, if I get a problem, it doesn't look like that big of a problem to me. So I think what I'm going to do is just ignore it and maybe it'll go away. This is not what happens. When you ignore a problem, almost without exception, it grows. It gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. Paul says, with the FAQ, frequently asked questions, how many questions do you have on your page? I don't know. I'd have to look, Paul. It's a bunch. I can tell you that. It's a whole lot. And when I think of more, I put them on there. This should be a never-ending list, really. I mean, because the more you answer, the more you do, the better off you're going to be. It's going to save you time. But I don't know off the top of my head. It's a whole lot. But you can find it at Survivalcave Food under FAQ. You'll see it in there. So yeah, good question. Very, very good question. And these problems never go away, guys. Now you say, well, yeah, this person complained and I ignored it and I never heard from them again. Here's what happened. You lost a customer. Okay, that's what happened. And when something goes wrong, and I've been guilty of this too at a restaurant, let's say we get a rude waitress or waiter, okay, which is very rare. Most of them are, that's a bad example. I didn't want to use that. Let's say they mess up our order, okay? The other day I ordered something and I ordered rice and I got beans instead. Now, I will tell you, I didn't notice it until 4 hours later. It didn't click with me. But anyhow, something like that, you may go, oh my gosh, they messed up my order. And you start looking around and you go, you know what? Those tables over there are dirty. This is ridiculous. My order's messed up. Those tables are dirty. And then you may look around a little bit more and you may say, well, this place isn't very busy. Maybe it's because of the smell in here. I don't know what is up with the smell. And you're going to start looking around for more and more problems. This same thing happens with online customers. When you don't respond, they start to look around and they go, what else is wrong with this place? But if you respond quickly and always, and I've always done this, say, I understand your situation and I would be upset too. When you say that, it really takes the wind out of somebody's sails. I remember so many times in the automotive business, somebody would come in and say, they didn't fix my car right. I've been in here 3 times. They didn't fix my car right. And I've got them in my office and I'm like, man, I know your time's valuable. Mine is too. I would be really upset if I had to keep coming over here. I need to get this fixed for you. I need to take care of this. And man, it takes all the wind out of their sails. They're like, oh, you don't want to argue with somebody because whether you agree with how they're reacting or not, they're obviously upset. And if they're obviously upset and you agree with them and you say, hey, I'm going to make that right, you are going to win a customer for life. You really are. So that's the first thing I would tell you after responding quickly. That's how you got to handle it when you respond quickly. Next thing is react a lot quicker on social media. Almost half of US customers ask questions, complain, or report satisfaction on social media, okay? You need to solve the request through social media. Simply reply quickly with a way for them to get fast help. Tell them, send me your phone number, send me your email. We'll have somebody contact you right away. Providing the individual with a dedicated customer support email address or link to customer support ticketing will always help satisfy the initial social media request. Now, this is the other thing I want you to think about. When somebody responds on social media, other people are looking at it. If they complain or whatever it is, I go to Yelp all the time and I'm pulling up restaurants and I see people who complain about a restaurant, and the restaurants that respond and say, hey, I'm sorry you had this problem, contact me and we're going to make it right. I feel good about that restaurant. And even though there was a complaint, I'm likely to go to that restaurant. But if I look through Yelp and I see a bunch of complaints and the restaurant never responds to anything, I know how they run that restaurant. I know exactly how to do it. And if they're running it that way on social media, they're probably running it that way in the kitchen, in the dining room, throughout the whole restaurant. Why would it be any different, right? So if they don't care enough to respond on social media, they probably don't care about the restaurant that much, or the car shop that much, or their courses that, whatever it is. Remember, when somebody posts on social media, other people see it. And if you don't respond, or if you get in a fight with them, I saw one restaurant that was actually arguing with somebody online. I thought, wow, I don't know what good that's going to do. They were actually calling them out, telling them they were a terrible customer. And I was like, I don't even believe this. But they were. So it's really, really important that, especially if they're on social media, that you just jump right in there and you take care of it. Okay. Let's see, Paul. Yes, I know this statistic, Paul. The average person knows about 250 people intimately and 3,000 by first name. Failure to respond, bad service can be told to 3,000 people or more with Facebook. Very true. And here's the funny thing. People are more likely to post on social media if it's a negative thing. They just are. Now, I've made it a life choice that I never, ever complain about a business on social media. At one time I did. And then I got to thinking, why would I do that? Why would I? And I'm a little off track here, but my thinking was, if I had a bad experience at that location, it doesn't mean everybody will. And if I say something negative about that business, it may hurt their business, and I don't have any right to do that. So unless I have something really positive to say, I don't post anything on social media. I just don't do it. It's just my thing. However, most people don't think like me. Most people are going to post stuff if they have a bad experience. So it's really important that you get on top of that. It's really important that you do that. And Paul's point is very, very true. People know a lot of other people. You'd be surprised. I know in the thousands of people, just because I travel and what I do for a living and all that. I usually max out my friends thing on Facebook, which is around 5,000 people. Not that I'm popular or that we're close or anything. I'm just saying I have connections with a lot of people. So if I wanted to say something negative, I could, but then I would come across negative. So I don't do it. But most people, keep in mind, are not going to do that. They're going to definitely post on social media if they're upset at you. Take a customer's privacy seriously. This is, I guess, our number 4. I recently contacted a company on live chat one time, and my order didn't show up complete. The live chat representative actually asked me for my credit card number to look up the order. No. Order number, first, last name, something like that. I refused, actually, and we kind of went back and forth in this battle, but they were able to locate my order. So if they were able to locate my order, why in the world would they ask for private information like this? I would never do business with this company again. I just wouldn't. I'm not going to say anything bad about them, but that you got to take their privacy seriously. You really do, guys. It's important to people. People are scared nowadays. People get ripped off. There's all kinds of scams. Let me get a sip here real quick. And Paul's got another good comment in here. Let's see what he's got. What's going on with Paul? He says, I had a really bad experience at a car dealer service department. And my bill was originally $1,400. And when I went to pick it up, it was $3,000. What? The guy called my wife and she approved. You mean, did she approve before? Did you not know about it? Did you guys not talk? Or did he call her when you were there and she said, okay, that's fine? Fill me in on that. I don't know quite what that means. When I told the guy about it, and he said, should I have called you? I said, you talked to me 3 times and now you called my wife. Oh, I see what's going on. So you took the car in, you approved $1,400, whatever it is, but then he calls your wife to get a final approval. That's interesting. That's an interesting one. I don't know how I feel about that. I know certainly my wife could approve some. See, here's the deal. Maybe you need to talk to your wife about this, but I won't approve something unless I tell my wife about it, and vice versa. She won't approve something unless she talks to me about it. This is kind of the thing we have, especially if it was my car and all. So, that's interesting. That's interesting, Paul. Think about that. I don't know what dynamics you guys have there, but yeah. I know I would be shocked if I got there and it was 3,000. I thought it was 1,400. I'd be upset. But I understand how that service writer's kind of got a point too. He did call. I don't know, Paul. What do you think of that? What do you think of that? That's a sticky one. That's really a sticky one. So it's good to bring it up though. It'll open it up for other people and they can kind of look at it and go, how would I react in that situation? What would I do? Okay. The next thing is don't use a bunch of technical words with a customer. Don't use a bunch of technical words with a customer. I think it's ridiculous when mechanics or computer people, I was on a call with a computer tech person yesterday, day before yesterday, and she was using all this technical garbage, and I just kept looking at my wife, who also works in the business with me, and we're like, we don't know what you're talking about. We have no idea what you're talking about. So make sure that your customer service representative or you understand not every person that they communicate is going to have a full understanding of all your technical or industry technology. You know, maybe you've got some terms, some acronyms and all this stuff. You know, I make it a point, like if I say an acronym, like I say SEO, which is search engine optimization, I always give a definition to it afterwards, because I understand there's people listening to me and not all of them have the same background. Not all of them have the same knowledge base. So yeah, you know, you got to really be careful about that. And plus they feel like you're kind of scamming them when you do that. When you use a bunch of technical stuff, they're like, you know, I don't know that, you know, they really get upset by it. So attempt to answer all their questions using a very clear and direct reply. And if you use a technical term, explain to them what that technical term is. They will really appreciate that. Now, if the response requires a lot of detailed breakup, then what you want to do is take it in small pieces that are easier to digest. Explain all the small parts to it. Explain all the small things. That's really important to do that. Another thing you can do, and I do this because I have Kartra, is you can use like a third-party customer service software. It can cost really a small fortune to set up your customer service support. So something like Kartra gives you these submit a ticket things that pop up on the page and it says, have a question, and then they can start typing in there. So I really like that. And I have that on my pages so that people can ask me questions. There's a whole bunch of different platforms that are available out there. I like Kartra because it is part of what you get with all the other stuff. But if you just want to get customer service ones, you can do that. And there's a lot of customer service ones out there. But I like Kartra because Kartra's got my frequently asked questions. It's got my sales pages. It's got my courses, and it's got everything. It's got all these things in there that I don't have to pay extra for, my pop-ups, all that good stuff. And you can also have pop-ups, you know, for your customer service. Got a question, and it can pop up. You can ask a question. Let me take another sip here. So it's gotten colder here today, guys, not to get off track. But I woke up this morning and I was like, whoa, it was like 81 the other day. And I got up this morning and it was not 81 today. It was definitely not 81. It was much colder. Okay, let's see here. Paul's got another comment. Let me get him in here. There you go, buddy. All right, I'm going to read from over here. The guy repaired a problem that really didn't need a repair. Well, that's a problem right there. It was a tiny leak on power steering reserve and was so minor, my regular service guy said, let's just keep an eye on it. Yeah, leaks are funny. Leaks are really funny. And like I said, I spent 25 years in the car business. What people want done and what people don't want done on leaks it really varies, because you can have what's called seepage. Seepage is where you get something coming out of the gasket, but it's not enough to cause any danger in your car or any problem. However, some people don't want any seepage. And the reason they don't want seepage is they have a really nice driveway or garage and they don't want to get oil spots. I had a dog sitter that watches over our stuff, and they're really kind, nice people. But she had parked her vehicle in the driveway, and I got back and there was oil spots. I was like, you know, so because we just built a brand new house. She didn't need to, no big deal. But the thing is, it's going to mean different things to different people. Now, there's some that are called oil leaks. There's a difference in oil leak and oil seepage, or fluid leak and fluid seepage. A leak means a lot's coming out and you could have a real problem in the future. Okay. So that's a really up in the air thing, but I know what you're saying. And if it's minor like that and it doesn't bother you and it's not dripping on something you don't care about, save your money, check your levels, you know, check your fluid levels, whatever it is, power steering or, you know, oil or transmission, whatever it is, and just keep checking your levels. All right, see, here's another comment. Have you ever outsourced customer service overseas? I find Philippines seems good. I absolutely have not. Everything we do is in the USA. I'll tell you, part of why we don't outsource customer service is we don't have that much of it. We don't. If we were inundated with 20 calls a day or 50 calls a day, we may do that. Rarely does somebody call us. They don't. We may get a few calls a week, so it's not a big deal. We don't have customer problems. And if we do, generally it's handled through emails. Somebody will say, hey, I ordered 2 cases of beef and a case of chicken, and I only got 2 cases of beef. What's up with that? And it's usually a situation where we had it in 2 different boxes, and one box got there, and the delivery driver didn't drop off the other box, and the next day it'll show up. So that's the kind of customer service problems we have. So I don't really need a robust customer service. However, some businesses do. Some businesses do a lot of sales over the phone. Some businesses have a lot of problems. They have a lot of returns. I don't have any returns either. So that's also not a big problem. There's my friend, Starbucks Coffee. Tell me what that means too in your next comment. Tell me what Starbucks Coffee means. Maybe it's a product you sell, and if so, you can market it. Hello again from Myrtle Beach. And I've been to Myrtle Beach. Used to live in Chesapeake, Virginia, right on the border of North Carolina and Moyock. And we used to go down there to Myrtle Beach. It's a great place. I'm currently setting up my customer service platform and feel having a live phone answering service is important. Any recommendations? Thanks, Mike Callahan. I've got a name for you now. I know who you are. Mike Callahan. Good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it really depends on what you're going to use customer service for. I really mean that. You can get companies that will answer your phone, do a sales presentation, and take an order from a customer. That's going to cost you a whole lot more than if you just have somebody answer the phone and try to transfer it to you, okay? And then you have another level where a call comes in to let's say, software. We have a software like this called OneBox, and you may want to check out OneBox if you don't need a whole lot of extra stuff. And what we can do with OneBox is we could have, say for sales, hit 1, for order information, press 2, for advertising, press 3, whatever. So, and then it's going to go to different mailboxes. Okay. We have several mailboxes. So somebody who's trying to sell us something, a vendor, that type of thing, it's going to go to a mailbox and it's going to say, hey, we appreciate you contacting us. Thank you so much. We would entertain using whatever service you have. Please leave the information about your service, your name, your company, and somebody will get back with you. Okay. So that handles that one. If it's, let's say, checking on an order, you could do a recording and it could say, hey, we see you're checking on your order. Please do us a favor and leave your order number, name, and whatever you ordered and your phone number, and we will get back with you on that. Then we can look it up and call the person back. Now, when I'm telling you all this, guys, it's really important. This is really, really important. And you may not realize how important it is. However they contact you is how you should contact them unless told otherwise. So if somebody calls you and they leave a message, you need to call them back because they called you. If somebody sends you an email, you need to email them back. Okay. If somebody opens a ticket, you need to answer that ticket. So what I mean by this, if somebody puts in a ticket, that means they didn't want to talk to anybody. So if they put in a ticket and then you call them up and disturb them in the middle of the day, they're going to be like, why didn't you just answer my ticket? That's what they're going to think. So it's really important that however they contact you, you contact them the same way. An exception to that would be is if somebody calls you and says, here's my email. Can you email me the information? Well, then you can email them. You don't have to call them back. That makes sense. But whatever manner they contact you is how you should contact them. And like I say, Mike, it's really dependent upon what level of service you want. The ones that will actually sell a product for you on the phone and, go through all the hoops and answer questions and all that. That's going to cost you a lot more than if you got something like OneBox where nobody really talks to them, but they hear different recordings. I will tell you this, hire somebody to do your recordings. I know we all think we sound good, but man, it's like night and day difference in having somebody do a recording. I had one done the other day for Survivalcave food. And she's worked for us before. She's on Fiverr, I think. And she did I think it was like a 30-second or 60-second type thing. And it was $20. And she sounds so professional. And the microphone she uses is so clear and crisp and clean. So when I have recordings for our company, I use her. She just does a great job. And I like the way it sounds. Like you said, good customer service is great advertising for your business. By the way, where's lunch today? Lunch today is at a sushi bar. I won't give out the name because I don't want to give out the name before I get there. Somebody could be showing up there and I don't know, hurt me or something, but I will post afterwards. And there are 2 sushi bars in all of the Austin area that have the best chirashi. Let me put that in here. Do you know what a chirashi is? There we go. If you know what a chirashi is, you can respond. Don't look it up. But if you know what a chirashi is, and I love chirashi. It's one of my favorite sushi meals. And I've been really, really, really good this week. I mean, I've slipped a little bit, but I've really cut down on my food. All of my food intake's been about half because I know I'm going on a cruise. Though I'm not going to pick on Carnival. You don't want to overeat on Carnival normally. The food is the food. I mean, it is what it is. But I'm dropping weight. I've dropped since Thanksgiving, I think 8 pounds now, something like that. But I got more to go. Got a lot more to go. So I've been working on that. But today is a little bit of a cheat day, and I'm gonna have chirashi. But if you know what chirashi is, you're also going to realize that it's not that fattening. It really isn't because of what it is. But all right, let's see here. Paul's got a comment. While I'm not a huge fan of GoDaddy, I have to say their customer service is great. I totally agree. I use GoDaddy, Paul, and I know I can get stuff cheaper someplace else, but their customer service is so good. For the incrementally little bit more money that I spend, it's well worth it. 100%. I agree with you. And they used to have great ads too. Most of their customer service is in USA, but have had some in the Philippines. Yeah, I mean, I don't mind customer service in another country as long as I can understand them and as long as they can comprehend what I'm telling them. The biggest problem I have with customer service, and you could put it in the chat if you had the same situation, is that you'll tell them something and then they don't understand what you told them. That drives me batty. I'll say, well, you were supposed to, let me give you an example, the cruise. Okay. So on the cruise, you were supposed to email me back about your drink package or whatever, because that's a dumb one, but I'm going to use it. And they're saying, okay, so you want to know the prices of our drink package? And I'm like, no, that's not what I said. And it gets really frustrating, incredibly frustrating. So I'd say that's my biggest pet peeve with that. But if I can understand them and they can understand me and they don't have a very thick accent where I have to really concentrate, I've got no problem with it. I will say, I don't know why, but I do feel a little bit more reassured when I hear somebody in the US. When I get transferred from the person in India, not that I have anything against India because I have India employees and they're great. But when I get transferred from the Indian guy to the US guy, I'm like, oh, you kind of go, oh, okay, now I can talk to somebody, but I think we always just feel more comfortable with the sound of our accent. We just do. The last thing I'm going to tell you on this is you got to be human. Be human, okay? A pissed off customer can quickly change his or her tone if the customer service representative shows compassion. Remember I told you in the beginning when I would get a mad customer at the dealership, and to this day I do, the first thing I say is, hey, I understand why you're upset and I would be too. I say that every single time. And in the beginning, when I say that, they just melt. And it's so funny because my managers that work for me, my salespeople, my service people, when they would see this customer melt in front of me, they're like, oh, well, they were such a jerk when they were back in service. They were such a jerk when they were in the finance department. It's because of how you were talking. They're not a jerk. You made them a jerk by arguing with them. Don't argue with them. Your support team, whoever they are, has to have thick skin. I would have people come in and just scream and yell at me and just be almost violent. And within a few moments, they were just nice as they could be. And we were buddies, all because I said, I understand how you feel and I'd be upset too. There's undoubtedly going to be a situation at one point or another that involves an irate customer cursing you out and, threatening you and all this stuff. But when you don't react to that stuff, when you say, hey, I understand, man, I really do. Now, if they're just berserk, they're crazy, of course you got to get rid of them. But for the most part, most people, if they know you understand them, they're going to just melt. They just will. Tell them, I'm really sorry you experienced this problem. I completely understand what you're going through. I know why you're upset. Let me help you correct this. It's going to calm them down like you cannot believe. You will not believe how calm they get if you treat them this way. And it's a little skill. I mean, it's a short skill. Let's see here. Paul's got some comments. Let's see here. Paul, we're going to miss you, buddy. We're leaving next Thursday and it's booked. It is booked. I wish that Marketers Cruise was on another cruise line. Yes. And I'm going to tell you why in a second. What other events are you doing this year? I think we're going to do, is it Vid Summit? But I don't think it's announced yet. That's usually in the fall. I'll probably do a couple masterminds. And I'm not crazy about Carnival either. I mean, they're okay company. I remember that was the first cruise I ever went on in my life. And matter of fact, that was in 1986. And the cruise ship I was on was barely a cruise ship because it was Aristotle Onassis's yacht that they had made into a cruise ship. That's how long ago that was. But the reason that Marketers Cruise has to do it on Carnival is at this point, they haven't found another cruise line that has the meeting rooms that will handle 400 people. That's the problem. Okay. So they can't get the meeting rooms for 400 people. The ship we're going to be on, I think, holds 2,100 people, and we're 400 of that. Okay. So they really don't have a choice. Lou, I've talked to Lou about this before. And Mike feels same. They just say, hey, we what else are we going to do? We'd like to be in Royal Caribbean or Celebrity or one of those, but they just don't have room for us. So that's the big problem there. Let's see here. What else you got to say, buddy? I appreciate your comments, Paul. It's very kind of you. And Mike, I appreciate you too, buddy. Thank you for doing that. I have to bounce, but I hope everyone has a great weekend and week ahead. Looking forward to future posts. Yeah, I'll put some in there from the Marketers Cruise, Paul. If you're interested in that, I'll do that. I did the one for the mastermind. I didn't do enough of that, I think, but I think the Marketers Cruise, I'll do a whole lot more. I really will. Guys, that's what I got for you today. We got to go prepare for that chirashi. Nobody said what chirashi is. Nobody said what it was. Hey, put it in the chat section. If you're watching this and it's not live, if you know what chirashi is, put it in the comments section. I can't believe nobody knows. In most Japanese sushi houses, they don't have it on the menu, but all Japanese sushi houses can make it with the ingredients they have. Now, why would that be? What does it consist of? What is so different about this dish, chirashi? What is it? Can you tell me? Can you tell me in the chat? Can you tell me in the comments? What is chirashi? Let's see here. He's got another comment. Let me grab it here. By the way, do you hold training for the factory workers a few times a year, or is it more runs on autopilot? I would love to get Jason's next event. Yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't really do that. We have warehouse staff that does all that kind of stuff. I don't even get involved on that on a daily basis, to be honest with you. Not my thing. I used to be in the warehouse. I used to put everything in boxes. I used to put the peanuts in there, the styrofoam peanuts. I used to tape up the boxes. I used to put it on a cart and roll it to the door and wait for the pickup, or take it to the post office before we had enough to pick up. But now I don't. No, I don't even touch it. Don't see it. Don't know anything about it. Unfortunately, or fortunately, actually, I don't want to. If I did, I'd be there, I guess, right? Okay, guys, I really appreciate you being here. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Turn it from red to gray. Don't forget to ring the bell. Ready, set. Don't forget to turn on all your bell notifications so you're notified every time I go live or if I upload a video. Your comments, your questions, your suggestions are always welcome in that comment section, in the chat section if you're live with me. A thumbs up goes so far on this, guys. Please, 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 before you leave this session, please, or if you've even stumbled on this, give me a thumbs up. We do have ads running all over Google now for Survivalcave food, so look out for those ads. You're going to see tons of them. I mean, like a lot of them coming real soon. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for participating, and thank you so much for supporting this channel. I really do appreciate each and every one of you. I will talk to you real soon.